Hi and welcome. In this video, I'd like to talk about the idea of strength, and how there's a delusion and illusion of what true strength is. And obviously, this can be seen in men and women, okay? It's just this overall idea in general. So what I'm about to say to you, what I'm about to talk about here, you can actually look at this and think about that in the same way too for women. Women are no different to men in that they can also, have either real confidence, meaning real calmness in the self, or they can put on a fake show. Anyway, I've heard a lot of people, and you see it in the world, where people get worked up all the time, and they hate the idea that others would disrespect them. I mean, who doesn't want others? Who would be happy that other people look down on you, or disrespect you? Okay. Or let's say lack in respect for you, don't have respect for you. But again, it's a concern, and we shouldn't really have that so much concern and worry in general anyway about what people think and who they are. We should be more concerned with ourselves and have inner peace and understanding of ourselves. But yeah, in this particular video here, I want to talk about this concept of strength. Strength without the thought even coming to mind, of being strong or confident. I want to talk here specifically to, if you're watching, any female, okay, any women watching this video. And also I want men to actually think about this too. There are a lot of women out there that, okay, so females, women that would respect a strong man. They respect a man who's strong. Not everyone, but I'm just saying a lot of them. I've seen them say this themselves on video and in real life, where they've got respect for certain kinds of confidence that comes across, and it kind of turns them on and all this. I've heard them say that. Where a man is so sure of himself, or he's bold, or he's calm in a moment, he may not show anger because it might be seen as a weakness, right? He may not show anger or power like in terms of getting into violent fights and stuff necessarily. Fighting's a man fighting another man like a raging gorilla fighting the other one. No, but it's that calmness where he's going through a difficult time, but he's not phased, and he'll face it, and he'll overcome it, and he's calm. And a lot of women respect that, and they value that. I've heard and they say they value, or they really look up to and really respect a man who shows no fear, who will even take leadership and all that kind of stuff, take charge with his words and his way. Mr. Cool, Now, I want to tell you something here, because I've got to let you hear another side to this, okay? And this can be for anybody, men or women, okay? It's an illusion. If someone wants to take charge, and you may say it's in the workplace or in this society and all that, I understand that. There's too much fake stuff in society, right, going on. Like, if someone really wants to take charge or prove themselves to others that they have power, that's a lack of confidence in themselves. You know that? They're not totally sure. They're trying to leave their mark or prove to others that they are someone of power, show others that they are sure of themselves, and all the above, That's someone who's showing concern. That, to me, it may not be the same as someone going into a raging frenzy and punching people, but it is with their way, their intent, that they would say those words, even in their mind, that they would think that or be aware of other people. And for a man to do that, could you really? I mean, you might say it's a game and he wants to work his way in the business world and make his money and all the rest of it and be a man of society. But if you're clearly sensible, and I'm not speaking to those shallow women out there or men that just follow society and the system of it all. If you come back to your inner self, you know you're a human being. When you come to the real truth of things, can you really have respect for that? If we go back to the cavemen days, or like in some tribes or some parts of the world, yeah, fair enough. A woman would or may, respect a man who goes out hunting and protects her and protects the children. If he's a strong man, let's say, in a lot of circumstances where he'll go out and hunt and do all the hard things that men have done over the generations, okay? And she would have respect for that. A man standing up and fighting a wild animal off or something to protect the family, whatever it might be. And you may turn around in this modern day and you may say, well, a strong man is doing the same thing. He's just fighting different tigers and fighting different warriors with his words in the civilized society. So in a job, he's trying to work his way up to get respect from the people around him by acting not like a pushover and somehow working his way a clever way that he's somehow able to get himself into better positions and then earn more money and basically bring in the food for the family, right? So it's the same thing you may say. But really that's not 100% true, and your efforts don't always work like that. And it's not as clean cut as that in every situation or in every job. I think a lot of women need to wake up to this fact. I'm just being honest here and saying this. Wouldn't you rather know that the man is honest? You might say, well, there's nothing secretive about him. He's too open and honest. That means he's a weakling. He's a pushover. He's a coward. And he's desperate. And nothing goes his way, so he'll just follow anyone. And he probably won't find a woman like that, so he'll do anything for the woman. And so therefore he's a fool. He's a pushover. And he's probably desperate for the woman for other reasons, and he probably is not the right kind of person to go with because he's not strong and protective and really dedicated. And there's lots of aspects about him that you won't see as being a sensible, smart man, right? But I just want to bring this into the light here really clearly to you that it's wrong to think like that in a lot of ways, because you have to know the person and you have to know them from all angles, and it takes time to know a person well. But just taking this concept, this idea alone, really, for real, okay? And I know there must be men out there that can understand what I'm saying, even though there's many that don't, and it's the same for the women, okay? But I want to say this, okay? How can a woman, if you're watching this, value a man who's not calm in himself, who doesn't have clarity of his own mind, make his own choices with his own mind, not base his words and his actions and the way he walks on concern of the world around him, that he's trying to find his way and fit himself into some peace, fit himself into some puzzle to find where he stands, so that he may work his way up based on the standards of the world that's already set. Yep, there's this fake hierarchy in society, there's some pyramid and all the rest of it. But it's funny how it's bigger at the bottom, the pyramid, and there's a small little point at the top. And the roots of trees are thick, and they get more thinner as they go up the top, you see. The trunk, right? So I'm just saying, like, how can you respect a man that doesn't have this inner respect as the first foremost thing? A man cannot, or anyone cannot have true respect for themselves if they're trying to prove themselves to anyone. It doesn't matter who it is. You're trying to earn from others. You know what I mean? There's women out there that would not respect a man who's trying to sell himself to her necessarily, right? Trying to earn love or earn friendship or earn respect, earn anything like that, forgiveness. You're just a beggar. I'm speaking very calmly here. I'm not swearing or going into a rant. I'm trying to make this very, very clear, this point. If a man is standing in front of another man, and whether that man has said something to him and then he wants to answer back in a kind of like, what's the word? a competitive way, a hostile way, whatever, whether it's through anger or whether it's through intelligence, a kind of like chess, whatever it is with words, for one man to waste even a split second to even be concerned and think about how he's got to work around this problem here and be concerned with the other person to prove a point, either in defense of himself in the face of the other person, making that person out to be having more relevance than needed, than he does, or being negative and trying to overpower the other one either. Any man who plays like that, who wrestles around with another man, in my opinion, it's like playing games with another man. It's just, what's that about? That's just like completely weak. It really, really is. It really is just totally, totally weak. Because you don't feel calm in yourself. You don't feel just pure. If you were totally confident, you wouldn't have any ideas of fear or nothing like that in your mind. No concern with what anyone says or anything. You would just know yourself and have peace in yourself. I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to say this, I'm not even going to say it. I'm just a peaceful man, I'm full of action, I do what I want, I know where I'm going, I know what I'm going to do, a man, you know what I mean? And he's got respect for himself, and he will do the right thing. He won't waste time or energy, he will use his time and energy to do good things and bring good to himself, and, for his family. It could be like the woman or the children, whoever, his family, right? So a man would not be playing around with another man, wrestling with his words, trying to prove something, because immediately you put yourself lower than them. You may think that you see a man standing up against another man that is showing that he's not a coward. No, that's wrong. It's the same as not standing up. It's a complete waste of time. It's a waste of energy too. That man might be able to kill him or really hurt him badly without all that talk. But then there are some women out there that would not be supporting that and say, well, he's a hero, he stood up to the bully, like in the movies. No, some women, or some wives and women, they would not like that. They say, oh, that was out of order, you were too violent, and it was childish and weak. You couldn't beat him with words. But do you know, nothing can be won with words. Not even a general of an army or a leader or a king or a president. They can't really control the world, or a soldier to lift up his gun with his arms. Nothing is control of that. Words don't build cities or blow them down and fly aeroplanes and shoot missiles. That doesn't happen. Words don't do the hunting and all that and bringing the food back and fishing. It's action, physical action. It's the soldiers in battle. But there's a time to take action. I won't say there's a time to fight, there's a time to defend, but there's a time for action. If you take another man's words as something that you need to be so distracted with in your mind, and the mind is the driver of the body, what does that say about a man? He doesn't have any confidence, even if he's thinking confidently and he's acting boldly. It's all based on concern and fear, pride, ego, which is also fear. That someone else's opinion of him and vision of him is more important than what he truly knows himself to be. So you should be someone who truly knows yourself. You're not trying to be a confident or anything like that. You're just truly aware of yourself. If you have power, you shouldn't waste your power fighting. It's like if you have the money, you shouldn't be throwing it here, throwing it there, because in time you have no money. Money, your words, everything, your time, your food, basically. If you keep giving people bits of your cookies from your jar, you'll have no cookies left. So what I'm trying to say is, For the men out there who think that about being tough and ego and all this stuff, that you need to prove yourself to people immediately, that's complete weakness for anyone to be thinking like that, men or women. But I'm just saying, for also the ladies, for the women who are talking like that, women that respect the strong man and all this, that's not a strong man. He's not strong at all. I don't care about how big or small the man is. To be standing to show, he wants to show something to everybody, to the world, and talk and act like he's not even listening to himself. He's thinking about other people. His mind is filled with this other man's power. Basically, he wants to fight and show something. That man has already lost. He's given up on himself. So you will be totally wrong. Totally wrong. You fall to illusion. So this can happen with men, women, anyone all over the world. Even children in schools growing up, they look at each other and they compete because they see it in the adults. You see it all around you in the world. The idea of competition, the idea of proving a point. You lose all value and use of your potential. When you waste yourself now, today, you lose the potential of tomorrow. Does that make sense? If you waste yourself in this second, you lose the potential of what is to come, the potential for the next second, And whenever you are strong and you try to break something or someone or win over in a fight, if you win, you also lose. You don't become the strong one. Because if everything is weaker than you, then there's nothing to be strong about with you. There's no competition, you see. Look, if you're weaker than someone or weaker than something in your life force, your mind and body, right, living here, you see, you're losing, you could say, right? If you're winning and you're above that and you're stronger than whatever it is, you're also losing and weak, you see, because you're not on this earth. You're trying to live in the sky, you're trying to live under the earth. That's why Lao Tzu in the Tao Te Ching, Lao Tzu said, man, heaven and earth. So you're standing on the earth. The tree grows from the earth. It doesn't grow in the sky and it doesn't grow under the earth. So when somebody dies, that they bury them, or they bury the ashes, or they bury the body under the ground, right? Okay, it's actions and things we do, but I'm just saying. And the spirit goes up to heaven, right? Or goes to hell or heaven, right? We need things level-headed, they say, right? Balanced. And body. So your actions, when they are not yours, become no action. That makes sense? Let your actions and your non-actions be yours. If a man, man or woman, but let's just say, if a man is acting and speaking and walking and doing things because he is remote controlled by somebody else's words or presence, that he doesn't have peace and he's like not confident, or if he is confident, either way, his mind is distracted by this thing here through confidence or fear. It's all coming from concern. No peace, no inner calmness and peace. Then he doesn't exist. He's given up his life. And it's the same as anyone who's trying to sell themselves to anyone, to a man, a woman, or whatever. So you need to understand what is true power. True power is nothing more than you can handle. You know that? You can't handle more than you can. And you can't handle, obviously, less. What I'm saying is like, if it's less or more, it's no good. Life is perfect how it is. If it goes beyond that or under that, that's the problem there, see? Beyond the truth or under the truth is no good. Only the truth is good. If it goes more than the truth, then it can't be like pure truth, right? It's more. How can you get more true? You can't get more true or less true. It's just not true, right? 99%. Okay, well, up or down, either way, one up or down. It's not true. And life, you're alive now. You're alive, yes. You can't be more alive, can you? You can't be less alive, or more winning, or less winning. You just are how you are now. So the emotion what you have inside you when you're like, like it's like a fake happiness, a fake, what I'm trying to say, a fake anything, anger, fear, sadness, is outside of your normal, peaceful way. So there is a tree, and there is a tree where some trees, some very nice flowers will grow on those trees, because this tree is that kind of tree, right? But the tree is the tree. You can put Christmas decorations on it and say it's a Christmas tree, but really, it's just a tree. It doesn't matter what clothes you wear. Really, it doesn't matter, what language you speak. You know what I mean? Really, it doesn't matter what you even where you're going in your daily life, and if you put the table over there or the box over there, it's just, what are you about? What is the peace in your mind? When you're peaceful, what images come to your mind? A baby learns as we grow older. A baby learns, and we learn from things around us. But what comes to your mind? What is it? What pictures and sounds when you're peaceful, when you lie in your bed to go to sleep at night time? When you're by yourself anywhere, or when you're walking and you see someone, or someone is coming to you, someone you know or someone you don't know, all that stuff, the things you see, what really is controlling you, or what feeling comes into you where you are not able to control yourself? And I need to walk here, I need to say this. Because I think a lot of people have that, most people in society. And you want to judge others and think about and talk about someone's confidence, or who's the tough one, or who's the quiet one, or who's not got the intelligence, because you're taking intelligence and you're putting it under certain criteria, circumstances. Clarity is what you want. Someone who knows they're alive and only lives with the feeling and the essence of life. So I'm going to finish this video now, but I want you to think about that. True power. The true life force in yours is yours, and it should act upon how you feel. Your heart pumps blood all around your body. Your lungs breathe air into it, Your eyes and ears are receivers of light and sound waves. As a woman or a man or woman, okay? It's not, you're wasting your energy when you judge others too, but, see the good in what people are doing. See the pointlessness that can occur, that can be in certain actions of people, Yes. And then you will see clearly, you'll be more knowing and aware of yourself and what it's all about. Because how you see another person or how you see the world tells a lot about yourself. It's a book there, if only you'd read it. The world may be a library, but in every moment, even though you don't understand the outer world, everything totally around you, it's not even reading of the thing, but reading of your own attitude is like a book that you can study. Why am I thinking that? I respect this, or I don't respect that. What do I really know about that? What is it all about? What is it for? I think everybody's got certain fears or concerns, things they act upon. They say this or they do that for reasons that they don't even know why they're doing it. It's all habit, It's all part of the fakeness and the system. So for women, again in this video, for ladies, women, okay, think about that. Okay? When you say a strong man, you think he's a strong man? You think the man's so strong? Showing his power, like showing everything of talking like that? He's showing the world? He's mature, he's growing older through the years. He doesn't need to worry about anything like that. He just should be just calm in himself, not thinking about being confident to fight others or fight back against others, regardless of what happens. Even if he gets fired from a job or whatever, he has to move on, whatever. Regardless of if you stay together or if you decided to, accept or whatever he's done or said, still, but that person's made his own choice. He was not phased per se. He's done what he could, mentally and physically. And on to the next, wherever he's going to go, and the next encounter. So what? Someone should know themselves. They should not be manipulated like a puppet. Sometimes you think someone's the puppet master when they're just a puppet, okay? So, think about that, okay? Thanks for watching, yeah.